What's up, everybody, and welcome to What's in Your Glass. As you know, I'm your host, Carmelo Anthony. Before we get going, let's first welcome today's guest. You know him as a famed producer and rapper who was cemented his legacy in hip hop as a hip hop heavyweight and a pioneer of the West Coast rap. Please welcome today to today's show, Too Short. Too Short, welcome.
What's up? What's up?
Let's do a virtual cheers for the people, man. We got to do a virtual cheers. We got to cheers, baby.
Damn, all day.
We was talking offline a little bit about what you was drinking. What you drinking? Share what's in your glass.
I'm representing the homie today, man. I got the Earl Stevens here, man. He got many brands, but I'm sipping on the sweet red wine, man. It's kind of like Kool-Aid.
I had 40 on here, on the show, and he ran down his whole list.
Exactly.
Everything that he got going on, all the the Vineyard, the Earl Stevens Select. He was real high. He was real high on that one. Well, what made you pick that one? What made you pick that one? Out of his selection? What made you pick that one?
Well, it is afternoon right now, so I kind of got to keep it like sort of lightweight, and then I got the little Prosecco's and stuff over there, but they're kind of sparkling, man. I didn't want to really go that vibe right now. So I just had these last two. He sent cases to us. So we've been drinking this shit for 2 years now. And I just got a bunch of these red wines. So I jumped into it, man. It's like grown folks Kool-Aid. It tastes really, really, really good. It's almost too good. It's like, you sipping it like it's tasting so sweet and so good. Next thing you know, you're on the third glass and you buzzing.
Yeah, then you're fried after that.
You got to go easy with it.
Absolutely. What? Let's jump right into it, man. Before we really dive in, how's things with you? What's going on with you? I know you're releasing some music soon, which we'll talk about later in the show. So congratulations on that. But what else is going on with you?
Well, my main thing right now that I'm proud to be a part of is Mount Westmore. That's the group we formed about a year ago. That's me, Ice Cube, E40, and Snoop. And we dropped a single already called Big Subwoofer, but we got a bunch of songs that we recorded. And it's gonna be a big rollout, man. We a lot of shows booked, and it's a real thing, man. So at my age, to be a part of something like that, and the money it's making and the opportunities we have to like extend that whole hip hop story, and not just like man, them cats did this, but like in general, a hip hop career has no boundaries, man. Period.
And what I mean, like I said, we'll talk about the music part later in the show, but turning your interest, music was always a big part of your life. Like, what made you start music? Like, what made you start making music? Because the people making music today is totally different than what made you get into the game back in the day.
I grew up in one of those houses with instruments laying around the house. My parents weren't musicians, but we had drums and we had bongos and guitars, and it could be a horn or something, a harmonica, anything laying around that made music. And I always messed with the instruments. So at some point in my life, like 6th grade, I wanted to be in music classes. And I ended up taking a lot of music classes. And before I could really become a musician, which is in my nature, I became a rapper. And everything I was doing in music class, I applied it to rap. That was, drum machines and keyboards and sampling and, just putting the song together. In my mind was a lot like being a part of the band. And then I had a love for music, just, like the funk. Man, I was a little kid in the 70s, so I'm with that Parliament Funkadelic and, the Ohio players. I was a little kid influenced by that. And if you listen to some of the older producers, Eric Sermon, Dr. Dre, we tap into a lot of that funk. And I mean, early rap, a lot of the rap coming out of New York on the early days was James Brown samples, funk. So
absolutely.
So I'm from that, man, and I think that's just what really, really got me in it was the funk, if you want to put it into one word.
And one of the reasons I would say that I admire you and what you do is because you never forgot where you come from, right? It's you know, it's hard. It's hard, especially after all these years. It's hard to, or it's easy to forget where you come from. You know what I'm saying? That you're moving along. You're off to bigger and better things. You meeting new people, different cities, different countries. Your experiences is different. But as you evolved into a legendary rapper and have become a cultural icon, and so much more, like how have your roots influenced your career with that?
My parents are from southern cities, man. My daddy's from Jackson, Mississippi. My mama's from New Orleans. And they embedded in me early on that just southern vibe, I got cousins who, when I started selling millions of records, my cousins, they probably was proud of me, whatever, but they more or less wanted to sock you in the chest and say, "Punk, you still you," like they can't give you that. So I come from one of them families where like the whole family would turn on you if you was like, just are you special because you got a little something? Like you gotta just keep it real with your family. Like I might be making a lot of money, but it's still you, little nigga. Like I'm still your cousin that's a lot bigger than you. That whole thing. Same thing with my brothers, the homies I come up with. It's just like I come up in a situation where the people around me, they're like, be big, but don't get the big head. And the big head is what they don't like when you come back home. You've been away for a while, and you come back, and you got the big head on the corner. They're like, oh, nah, brother, we ain't for that. So I learned to stay grounded. And staying grounded kept me connected to my family, my original friends, and just people that, when you're coming up, it's a lot of people that participate in your come up. And when you get there, the people that do it. They look back and go, man, F all y'all. I'm up here now. But them people, all that matters, man. The little people, the big people, everybody matters in your world of making it, and the things that had to happen perfectly for you to make it. Everybody matters. And I take that to heart, where I never really forget those who always, was there, man. So, the homies' moms or whatever. How many times I go to her house, and get a good meal while we was hanging out.
Right.
I remember
Right.
I remember the homies' moms. I ain't gonna never forget her and what that meant on that day. So that's the kind of guy I am.
What and when you look at the hip hop landscape today, like is there anything, because you mentioned something that was key. You said you grew up in a household with instruments. Then your parents was from southern states, so you had that naturally in you. You had that energy. You had that music. That IQ when it comes to making music and sound and putting things together. But is there anything that you wish would change, or do you appreciate the evolution of the rap game?
Well, I think we in a more digital age right now, more computerized, more, everything is more electronic. And it's like, what you're seeing right now is that young talent, from hip hop, born and raised on it, just really like looking at anything that around them. That's what hip hop is. You just give me the stuff that's on this table, and I'm gonna beat and make some noise and find a way to record it and make a song that's dope. We're gonna figure it out. So I think when you see a little dude with a laptop, and from start to finish, that laptop is his main instrument. However, whatever he downloaded, whatever programs he's using the resources he has, but it's still hip hop. And it's still like, I'm gonna pull this shit out of thin air and make hits. And I just love the craft, how it evolves with the tools you have available to you. Young hip hop didn't have a lot of tools. The main weapon was 2 turntables and a mixer. If you give me that, I'll go find a record that got a little drum beat, and I'm gonna make a song. That's the first step. Next step was, man, let's get drum machines, and instead of like trying to find these little loops, let's just beat the little beat out ourselves. Next step was they made a machine where you could just grab the loop and play it over and over again. Like it just evolves. So now it's like I can sit with my laptop and break out different programs, and I could just make dope beats and never even touch a piano, but I can still make it sound like a piano player. Wow. So I think our little guys, man, they got great advantages, man. You're supposed to be in the evolution of what you do. You're supposed to be a part of the future. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to build on what came before you and then add something to it. Y'all got bigger, faster, better, more intricate. You know what I'm saying? NBA, evolve. You know what I'm saying? So hip hop is evolving.
Do you think the true essence um, of the game, right? The baseline of the hip hop game of rap
Mhm.
is missing today. Like you said in sports, in basketball, it evolved, and you got it. We support it. You got to support that. You got to embrace the younger generation. Just because they have different or more opportunities than the past generation had, doesn't mean that you shouldn't embrace them. What do you think? There's something lost in the industry, in the rap game.
The only thing that's missing and the only thing that's lost is what already happened. It's what we did before what's going on now. And, you know, the boom bap is no hip hop without the boom bap. We still hear remnants of it in its purest form to this day. It's still stuff that creeps out, but that's not necessarily prevalent in hip hop right now with the young kids. But at the same time, you know, it's a part of the evolution. So I just think where they at right now, is where they're supposed to be. That's what if you making a song, I don't care what the sound is, what's different than what it used to be, what it's supposed to be. If it's popular, you're doing something right. Because right now, popular is hotter than skills or looks. Popular that's the thing. So you know what I'm saying? You can't even be walking through the mall going, that kid is a star. Like, you know, the kid that's a star is making themselves a star online right now on social media somewhere right now without you discovering them in the fucking mall. So I just think I like hip hop's journey. I like what hip hop did and how each generation, you know, built something that makes the next one be able to last forever. I was a part of the first wave when rap started going into big arenas and going around the country, and you know, it started being where you could sell 1 million records and shit and go platinum. I was a part of that. Now, you know, you get popular and get a hot song, you got an opportunity to make millions of dollars on multiple different platforms, and it can go so much further if you got the right team and all that stuff together. So I just think the evolution of the music is what it's supposed to be, man. I like the new songs. You know what I mean? I don't think I would want them to continue to be the same thing over again. Look at rock and roll, man. Rock and roll. If you during the birth of hip hop, rock and roll was like a monster, and we was like little infants. And now it's the other way around. So you know, your genre, your love of what the music you love it ain't said it ain't just set in stone. It's gonna be here forever. But hip hop, I'm proud of our youngsters keeping it, making way more money, you know, just surpassing all different genres of music. Like hip hop is worldwide, global, popular. Period. This shit's hot.
Preach on that. Looking back at like how do you feel knowing you were a pioneer in the music world?
I think when you're a trailblazer, it's got to be very rare for a trailblazer to blaze trails as they announce. Y'all know what I'm doing. Like, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing when you out there knocking down trees, and you don't know you the one that's paving the way. You look back and say, y'all know I paved the way, but not while you're doing it. I think you just giving it all you got. Like you looking for it. Like you in that moment. I'm in the moment of they gave me the opportunity to do a show. At that show was 7,000 people. I probably never seen a crowd more than 500. And here I am for the 7,000. I'm like, I'm about to take advantage of this moment. They gave me the opportunity to sign to a major label. Cut the check. I was already having money, but they cut the check. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, now I got major distribution. And they paying me for this. I'm about to show off. You know what I mean? I put in work. So it's like, man, you gotta like in the moment, you gotta like take advantage of those moments. And then when you look back and go, damn, I was a pioneer shit. Like, you know, pat yourself on the back a little bit. Hey, but I really stand up proud knowing that on this West Coast shit that I was there from day one, and I was the first one who stepped up from the whole entire Bay Area and said, I'm from Oakland. We from the Bay, and I was the first one. You set up if you line up the rappers and go, this is how they came out, and this is how we got the. I'm first in line on the streets, first in line on wax, first in line hanging plaques up on the wall. I'm the first. I blazed that trail for the Bay Area hip hop scene. So yeah, I'm very proud of it. It's a great achievement.
As you should be, as you should be. Like you said, you put that on the map. You brought awareness. You brought awareness to your environment and into your world. You understand? Where people didn't know that. So to bring that again to know that you're a pioneer in this game is something special. I would say that with your first album release in I want to say '87, and then your latest album recently in 2020, like you became the only active hip hop artist to have released an album in 5 different decades. When at 5 different decades, that's hard as shit to do. You have a catalog, man, that includes like platinum albums, and a huge, influence on just modern artists. What motivates you to keep making music? Because that's 5 generations is a long time.
I'm still on the original motivation, man. Just that I love making music. So so as it is now, I would say outside of the love of music, the main ingredient on inspiration that I find right now is the story of hip hop. And the story of hip hop, when it's told and when it's, documented over and over again and all these different versions, I just want people to know that there ain't no expiration on this hip hop shit, man. Like you could get a hot record like 30 years ago, and that fucking record is still feeding you right now. You still out doing shows and going around the world, and people like appreciating you. And in the case like mine, I just been making music. Like I'm still doing it and still getting opportunity and still getting money at it and still, my phone ringing all the time. Like I just say, I just call it hip hop, man. We got love. We slipped in. We created our own world. And we didn't get chewed up and swallowed up and spit it out. We got hip hop got used up a lot by major labels and different people. But in the end, we made a lot of millionaires. We got to the point where we started making billionaires. And it's like this is a real dream. When I was a kid, there was no hip hop dream. You know what I'm saying? And even the basketball dream wasn't I'm about to be 100 millionaire, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
The dream wasn't there. So to build these industries, man, and to give kids from the inner city and anywhere, just that dream, you really could do this, man. Barack Obama, you really could be president. Like the dreams have changed, bro. When Martin Luther King said, I have a dream, it's different. Like it's still a struggle, but it's just different. The opportunities that you have in hip hop is amazing because if a rapper gets on, and I really get mad when rappers get in trouble and they continue to get in trouble and they like kind of, get locked up or something or whatever it may be with all the negative energy. Because when a rapper gets on, man, your homie get to be the road manager. Your other homie is your producer. You know what I'm saying? Your other big homie is your security, man. It's like you bring a lot of folks on. Then you got the 2 little homies down the block. You put them on, they records start hitting. And you could look at it. If a couple of rappers get on from the same side of town, same neighborhood, you start seeing the neighborhood change. You start seeing the cars change and the pride come out of people. I mean, it's
that's real. That's real. When you look at the music scene today, right? Who are some of the artists that people should be keeping an eye out for? Like who you listening to? Who like inspires you? Like, oh shit, this shit is hot, or somebody he up next.
My list never changes, and I've been in the game so long that you see the hot guy, female, whoever the artist, I'm just gonna say artist, pop up, take over shit for a year or 2, and then just whatever the politics was, whatever the reasons was, that's all we get from that artist. My favorites have always been the people who come in the game. You see them come in the game like 2 Chainz. And then years go by, like Drake. You know what I'm saying? Years go by like Future, and they still slipping in with more hits and still having it and still commanding and still bringing and generating. And it's like, you know, the TIs, and it ain't about your bars with me. It ain't about, you know, your immediate fan base or whatever. It's just about me. I love that. I respect that longevity. I really respect, you know, if you can come in somewhere like the NBA and play multiple seasons, you know what I mean? Like, I don't disrespect you just because you came in and out 3 years. I'm just saying my favorites
Right, indeed.
are the ones who got that you know, that track record, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? You could be great for a minute, man, but I really, really respect when you're great for a long time. I really respect when you, it's not easy to get a hit record and to get recognized in the fraternity, but it's hard to stay around this shit, man. It's hard to stay in it. Like, you can't just slip in and stay in. You gotta be made of something and talented, something business, something, you know what I'm saying? Luck. It gotta be a lot on your side to stay up in this, man. And those are my favorites, man. So, you know, I root for the Kodak Blacks because I love the music. You know, a lot of guys, I can name a lot of guys that I feel like you could have a really long career. Like a lot of dudes, man. And it's just, it ain't just about what's happening with you right now. It's not just about the talent you got and the team you got. It's about a lot of shit. you gotta know this, brother, because when you sitting around on the sidelines and you start calculating the wrong shit you did, you should have been calculating that shit before then. You should have been thinking about this shit at a time like now, like really, like, we talk about this ageism in hip hop, where the OG is like, oh man, them youngsters whack, and the youngsters like, man, OG, get your old ass out the way. But from the OG perspective, because I'm one of the OGs who don't really disrespect the young homies, from the OG perspective, I'm just saying, man, you wish that you could pull up in this thing and make a lot of money in your 20s doing something, and that same thing would bridge you out in your 50s. You wish that life would deliver you something like that. And you got that opportunity with hip hop. You got niggas like Jay-Z and Short Dog and E40 and Fat Joe and Snoop Dogg blazing that trail. P Daddies and stuff, man. You know, P Diddy's, man. They blazing that trail for you to say, I can still flex my swag in my 40s. Kanye, you know what I'm saying? The list is long. Push on to the 50s, man. We getting there now. We ain't nobody really swagged it out in their 60s in hip hop. We getting close.
You know what I mean? And absolutely. And longevity is definitely something that you live on alone, right? You can live on that for the rest of your life if you have longevity in anything. Anything you do that more than 5, 6, 7 years, you got longevity. You got longevity in that. So when you start talking about 15, 20, 30, 40 years, now you cement it. You know, now your footprints is there. Them footprints ain't going nowhere. So I know the feeling. I'm coming up on 20 years in NBA. You know, that's hard. You know what I'm saying? It's usually royalty, 3, man. Absolutely. It's usually 3-4 years and the turnover. You know how many athletes that's out there? You know how many people that want to rap that's out there who may not get the opportunity? So we always got to take advantage of that and never give or take longevity for granted. Another career highlight of yours, like your legendary discography, man, was celebrated as part of Verzuz, and then, you know, congratulations on that too. That was big time. This past December, you went head to head with, you know, obviously E40, and which was definitely a highly anticipated battle. Like how did that play out? Like, how do you feel when you saw that play out?
Okay, so first of all, I was getting the tap on the shoulder from Verzuz when it was just, you know, COVID, Instagram live. They was like, who you gonna go against somebody? I'm like, man, I'm not doing it. So then it went up to the next level, and it was like Snoop Dogg, DMX, and Beanie Man, or whoever. It elevated, and it was tapped on the shoulder, like, man, do Verzuz. And I this was my opinion. I was like, look, I got a track record that I don't have to prove nothing. And I feel like Verzuz was a battle. And I'm like, I don't need to battle nobody because I don't got nothing to validate. I felt, and I'm not saying that that's what it was gonna do, but I felt like part of me getting on there was to be like, well, listen to this, listen to that. I don't got nothing to prove. I'm cool. So Verzuz wasn't fitting my psyche. It wasn't even on the same page. But then I got it offered to me a different way by E40 and Swiss Beats, because Swiss and 40 had already talked.
Right.
They had a way, to word it, because me and 40 talked about it to each other. Like, we talk all the time. It's like, would you do verses? Like, no, I wouldn't do verses, man. I ain't doing nothing like that. But then Swiss came back with the new
play.
Pitch.
Yeah,
the play was like, this is for hip hop. This is educating hip hop as a whole. You know what I'm saying? It's young people that's gonna tap in that don't know your story. They don't know your discography. They don't know about you and E40 and the history of the Bay. Y'all gotta teach them. So I was like, I'm with that kind of program. I'm like, I'm not finna get on there and battle E40 or anybody like we going against each other. I said, if you want to tell a story and do a celebration, I'm in. So if you notice, me and 40 kind of turned the page on what Verzuz battles look like.
Absolutely.
I remember seeing Snoop and DMX in the same room. Verzuz was always you somewhere else, y'all battling, but then they was in the same room, and then they was like participating kind of. I just wanted to be on that vibe, but we dressed it up a little more, brought the cars out, you know what I'm saying? We kind of they was trying to give us a format. And then I was like, man, if y'all give me a format, it's gonna be fucked up, because then you're gonna make me. I say I've been doing 40 my whole life. Let us just do it. We can't rehearse. Let's just do it. And then we agreed to not pre-set up anything, no format of talk about this or that. And then all I wanted to do was, between me and 40, was, if we do this, man, let's keep telling the story in the midst of the verses. Let's just tell a little story about how this started, because me and him started it. We started the Bay Area hip hop scene. There might be a few that was in the mix then, but me and him started. And we held it down to this day as far as who's your big homie in the Bay. If you're an artist, who's your big homie? E40 and Too Short. Ain't no other answer. So that's how we did it, man. And it was a celebration. It was Christmas. It was people was at home, and it was a COVID Christmas, and it just got a lot of it was like people came to me, because on the West, that's like you talking about your DNA, like your
absolutely
from birth, like you in the car seat and your mom and daddy bumping Too Short and E40. So on the West, they was like dog, like it was spiritual. It was Christmas. You know what I mean? It was a big deal. So Verzuz made me a lot of money, and Verzuz is not a format that breeds you out like up front or nothing. It's some money involved, but it made me a lot of money, because after you do Verzuz, your streaming just like goes out the roof. And after it was opportunities that during Verzuz, like, I mean, we did a party after Verzuz for like somebody paid us like some ridiculous amount to leave Verzuz and come do their virtual party, like just cameras and something they was gonna play back at their Christmas party. Everything I did during Verzuz, if you go back and look at it, everything I did was for the bag. If I put a hat on, it was
for the bag.
It was a baby bag. The T-shirt I was wearing, the jacket I was wearing, I was bagged out. Like, fuck it, that's Verzuz though.
But that is, like you said, it is Verzuz, and most people would think that it's supposed to be a battle.
I got these little buttons. If you hit the button, it say, bitch. I took it to the camera, and I was like, y'all better get a bitch button. I hit it. I sold $80,000 worth of them motherfuckers that night before it ended. Before the live stream ended, they had spent $80,000. I don't know what the final tally was, but at the end of before we cut off the air, 80,000 already been ching-chinged on my little website. That's yours.
And that's yours.
I'm just saying, Verzuz it's amazing, bro. Like,
yeah, it's so many opportunities that come from Verzuz.
So
right?
Then,
like you said,
Evolution.
Go ahead.
They could have dealt with Triller, and they sent everybody who did Verzuz before they cut the deal with Triller, they gave everybody a piece of the deal. All the artists.
And we sat and we watched the evolution of hip hop, right?
Exactly.
And before you wasn't getting those opportunities after a versus type of show, right? And the energy would have been different. It would have been a straight battle. It would have been a straight, something would have happened in there. Some type of energy would have transcended in there.
Man, we made it, man. Hip hop went to the Super Bowl. We made it, man. We made it.
And big shout out to Swiss too for having that vision and getting you to see it from a whole different landscape and a whole different lens.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. It was one of the greatest experiences, during and the aftermath of it is a really good experience, man. So if you're an artist, I recommend it if it's coming your way. And, as a fan, follow the Verzuz format, man. It's really, 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 it's been dope, man. Gucci Mane and Jeezy, it's just been dope. Like, that's amazing. Like, if you know the story, that's amazing.
Right, absolutely. And that's history too. That's longevity. That was longevity. Switching gears some more. Like you're releasing a new album in March.
Yeah.
And that just coincides with like the 35-year anniversary of Born to Mac. What can you tell the people, about the album? What can fans expect? What other projects you have going on, and what should we keep our eye on?
Well, the first song I'm dropping is a collab I did with Lil Duval, and people associate Lil Duval with being funny and comedy and stuff, but he's really a singer. He really does know how to sing, and he did the song with Snoop Dogg, Smile, huge hit, and he got songs of his own and all this stuff. So, we shot the video. It's a dope song, so that's on there. I'm not really like slanging like a bunch of collaborations because, like I said, what I'm doing right now is for hip hop, and I'm just trying to really make some really good music that doesn't require you to judge me for my age or, try to put me in some box. Like, oh, that's the OG, that's throwback shit. Like, it's just music. So when you hear it, it's just another step for hip hop. It's not so much personal with me. It's really for hip hop. I don't have a lot of reasons to push forward the way I do, except other than it's for hip hop. Mount Westmore, when you hear it, me, Snoop, Cube, and 40, when you hear it, it's fresh. It's like it got that thing you want in it. Like, these are my OGs. I want to feel that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want us to be out trying to be the new artist.
Right,
so it's
right.
in the right pocket, but the shit is fresh though. It's like it's a fresh flavor. Like, it don't come on sounding dated like we put some old songs out. So Mount Westmore is a real deal. It's real, man. My group members are Ice Cube, Snoop Dogg, and E40. How can a record label even give us a deal? These niggas got more money than any label. I'm just saying, like, imagine
you're right.
What the demand for excellence is within this group. We all legendary, and we all realize that we're not in our prime, but we still hot as we were. You know what I'm saying? We still deserve what we get when we get on stage together. When we get on stage together, they breaking us off like we Drake. It's the same.
Y'all need to celebrate, and y'all need to celebrate. This is a celebratory moment for y'all too. Like you said, to have those four, y'all four, heavy hitters, pioneers, legends on one project. Y'all picking each other up at the end of the day.
We set the bar high amongst ourselves.
Absolutely.
Right from the start. And I say that to say it's the product that's coming is going to have excellence stamped on it. Like, we're trying to show you that hip hop can be of all ages. And I ain't talking about for all ages, because I'm talking about of all ages. You could be 9 years old and be on TikTok, blowing up, getting money, and you could be 55 and getting it too. So salute to hip hop. And I admire the NBA a lot, man, because you know what I'm saying? I know y'all got, as a league, y'all got to go through your growing pains, but I admire the NBA because I've been an NBA fan since I was young, and I'm really noticing that, like, a lot of the coaches that used to be players, and just the you know, all the announcers, everybody, it's a family, bro. And it's like it really from when it grew, when it was young Showtime, Magic and all them before that, like what it is now, it's all the second generation players. It's dope, man.
It's a culture. It's a culture, just like
the players whose fathers played. Man, there's so many of them now. It's dope.
It's the culture, just like hip hop. It's a culture. We've made it a culture. We've made it, a fraternity. Like you want to be a part of that, and we try to do, us as the OGs, we try to support the younger generation. We try to support, their skill, their talent, give them their own voice, give them their own platform, and just keep our DNA in there. Our DNA, y'all DNA gonna be all throughout that album. So I'm looking forward to tapping into that. So congratulations on that. Close, wrapping this up, bringing it all back to kind of why we here and just what's in your glass and the premise of this show. I just got a few, quick fire questions for you for us to close this out. I like to know what's in your glass on certain occasions. So I'm gonna ask you what's in your glass and when you're on your vacation.
On a vacation, I probably would go towards like pina coladas, but then a pina colada, they like slide the rum in it or whatever. I'll be like, replace the rum with like maybe some Don Julio, some tequila. So I'm drinking pina coladas with tequila, like, kick in a little bit extra. My drinking career has been like split in two phases. I was a lot of cognac as a youngster, and then somewhere it just got tequila kicked in, and I kind of like drink more like tequila drinks. I'm not really a vodka drinker, but if needed, I get down on vodka certain ways. Tito's, man, I get down certain ways, but I'm always like Don Julio's my thing, and when you're of a certain baller status, people like measure you by your 1942 bottles. But I'm not really like a 42 kind of guy, man. I'm like 42 don't really mix good in drinks. They got like drinking straight. So if you buy 42 all night, you keep drinking, you're gonna get like drunk.
Yeah, you'll get
straight tequila. I'll get a 42 bottle, but I'll be over there on the Don Julio Blanco, mix it a little bit, pace myself. I need to be coherent when the party's over. When I don't get wasted. So
right.
So whatever I'm doing, I'm always pacing myself. Not too big on champagne, but I'm a friendly person. So if they ask me what I want to get, I'm like, bring a champagne, bring a cognac, bring a vodka, and bring 2 tequilas.
and let's go. So if you out at a nice restaurant, right? What's in your glass?
I always go to my first choice is to go to the specialty drinks just to see if they got a little concoction that grabs me. I lean towards the rum drinks because they always taste like Kool-Aid. Sometimes I'm at dinner, any one of them rum drinks, not so much Blue Hawaiian, but maybe. But those rum drinks, they always got them on the menu. Got a little, you sip one, you're like, oh, this is cool because it tastes like Kool-Aid. But then I also go for the silver tequila drinks too. But I don't like the people like it. I don't know why they like it. I don't like that smoky thing with the pepper and the smoky tequila.
Oh yeah.
I don't like that. I don't like that flavor. So, that's me, man. I'm definitely my go-to. Like I got an Uber or my driver. My car ain't there. My go-to, sit down at dinner. They talking soup, salad, appetizers, all that. I'm like, let me get a double shot of Don Julio Blanco on the rocks. Put a little OJ on the side and about 2 or 3 limes.
You good?
I'm a little hood bougie, so I don't never like my limes to fall in my drink because I'm like, somebody cut them, sliced them, threw them in the thing. They've been touched too much. So I'm like, just give me the juice and throw the limes to the side. Everybody got their little quirks, man. I hate the limes that float in my drink. I hate that.
If you're celebrating, say a big win in business, right, or with a new project, well, what's in your glass? You staying with the tequila all the way?
Nah, we gonna pop a champagne bottle or 2. One of them gonna get spilled everywhere on purpose. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna get passed around. And then, you know, I might, even if I start off with a glass of champagne just for the toast, I'm gonna probably sit it down about halfway. And you know, I'm into the anejos and reposados too, but I don't know, man. I'm a sophisticated tequila drinker. I cannot drink. I have yet to learn in all my years how to hold a martini glass without spilling it all down my wrist.
It's not for us.
If two chicks said, we'll give you the wildest time in your life, and you just bring us two martinis,
you gonna fumble.
I gotta go. They're gonna be 2 half a glasses of liquor. So yeah.
Okay, last one. You celebrating let's just say the upcoming release of the new album next month. Mm-hmm. What's in your glass?
We definitely doing shots. And shots are like, I'm not a bully when it comes to shots. You don't have to shoot what I shoot. So we have choices. You're like, what, you want a shot? Yeah, you know, your choices. Like, I want vodka, I want tequila, I want cognac. So, you know, I think those are the universal go-to for friends and family is have a good cognac, have a good vodka that, you know, I don't want to sell my brand. And have a good tequila. And then you got the people that you can size up who's in the circle by you know, who drinks red wine versus white wine and nothing else, and then who's like champagne only. Like you can figure out who's who by taking a few quick shots. Like, okay, I know who you are. You know, like
the alcohol exposes the personnel all the time.
Yeah, if she take a shot of tequila and go, woo! I'm like, okay, I know who you are.
Oh man. Hey, Short, man, I appreciate you, man. We gonna end it on that. No, I appreciate you coming in, man. Thanks for joining me for a glass. You know, you already know, man. You the OG. We the OGs in both industries, man. And just this culture of hip hop, because the NBA is definitely a part of the hip hop culture, man. So I want to say thank you again, man, and for being who you are. I'll give you your flowers right now. Good luck on the album. Congratulations on the album. I'm looking forward to listening to it, and I'll see you soon, champ.
All right, man. Enjoyed it, man. All right, y'all.
Indeed, champ. All right, baby. Peace.